Well, there's Shane Warne. That's his tweet. Disappointing selection for Australia, leaving Marsh out. Maxwell being in the power play. He should always come in after the power play, and Stoinis should have gone in. Poor strategy, tactics from the Aussies. I love Smith, but he shouldn't be in the T20 team. Marsh has to be there. And speaking of Shane Warne, here he is. Great to have him online. Warnie, always good to have you here, buddy, and chat to you. You're pretty strong there. With Marsh not being in the side. That game last night, that's what you would have done. Agar wouldn't have played?
G'day, BJ, June, Skull. Good to hear from you. Good to see you guys. Look, I was disappointed like all of us Aussies. We want the Australian side to do well. We want them to play well. But I don't mind Agar. I thought his matchups, I was expecting him to bowl in the power play early, straight up, even the first over, second over to Josh Buttler. I thought he matched up really well there. So I didn't mind that inclusion. But for me, Mitch Marsh has to play. And that's why I don't believe Steve Smith, as much as we love him, he's fantastic, he's awesome. I don't think he's ever nailed T20. He can't even make it in 4 overseas players in IPL. He doesn't make it in any of those teams. His record's not great at T20. We've seen England, Pakistan and India to a certain extent how you have to play T20 cricket. And I think the player there, everyone can bat around, he's gone. Those days are gone at T20 with the big bats, the small boundaries. Even though some of these grounds are bigger, you've got to start bashing it. You just have to bash it and get into beast mode. And we've got one in Mitch Marsh. I'd say he's one of our best T20 players. I just don't understand how he can't play. So for me, he has to play and bat in the power play and take advantage of only 2 players out. Maxwell, I thought they got their strategy completely wrong, Australia, yesterday. How Maxwell bats inside the power play against a fast, bouncy ball, I don't understand when he can be so destructive. After the power play, when they've got Rashid, Moeen Ali, Liam Livingstone, they're going to bowl spin after power play. So why wouldn't Maxwell, even if they're 3 or 4 down, you just save him until he has to come in after the power play and they bowl his spinners. Then if they bring the quicks back, then your other players can make advantage of the quicks coming back last. So I just thought they got their strategy, tactics, their game style and everything is wrong. Look, it's one game. But England, Pakistan are showing how you have to play T20 cricket. And I think we're behind. And I think that's for a few reasons. One, Finch and Warner haven't found their touch or their form. Yes, Warner got a score and Finch got a score. But we need them at their best at the top. If they're not, then, we have to question their spots because that's the number 1, 2, 3 in T20 cricket. That's where you win games. I think you need 5 bowlers. I look at you think of the best sides in T20 cricket. You have 5 specialist bowlers and you win games from bowlers because it means you need less runs if you bowl first. And if you have to defend with the ball, you can take wickets. So you need 5 bowlers. And then 1 or 2 of those guys are going to go. And that's when we've got Stoinis, Marsh, Maxwell, or those guys that we can use. So to me, I think we've just got to really look at the way we're playing. I think Josh Inglis has to come into the side. I think Matthew Wade has to be under pressure for his spot as well. In this short tournament like this, you can't afford guys out of touch.
Well, I don't know if I've got any more questions there. You've answered all my questions there with that one answer. I was thinking, as the tournament progresses, so you're saying we should play 5 specialist bowlers because I think we're better off with an extra batsman and 4 bowlers and then those 3 all-rounder types, Maxwell, Stoinis, and Marsh bowling that 5th bowling option. So you're definitely the other way. You think we need to be a bowler stronger than a batsman?
Yeah, well, I think Agar can bat as well. It's the same thing as the bowlers, the batsmen that can bowl a bit. I think Agar can bat and can be quite powerful at the end. I think Pat Cummins can bat. He's been out of touch with the bat for a bit, but I think Stark can bat as well. So I think it's the same sort of thing as the bowlers. And I think if you play 5 specialist bowlers and 2 spinners, it gives you a bit of, and 3 big quicks. And also, I think Hazelwood's got to open the bowling, take the first over. I just don't want to see Stark taking that first over anymore. And especially the matchup to Josh Buttler and to Jason Roy, he bowls too full, Stark. He bowls full and tries to swing it. That's exactly what Buttler and Jason Roy like. I think, he's got to start banging it in. And I think, why would you want Stark to do that? He's at his best when he pitches up and swings. But it's not a good matchup to Buttler and Roy because that's what they want. So I would have thought Hazelwood or Cummins should have bowled the first over to set the tone, and then Agar followed up to Buttler before he got himself in. So I just think we've got to really look at our strategy and tactics. And in all the T20 cricket I've been involved in over the last 13 or 14 years with the IPLs and everyone else, the bowlers win you the games. Bowlers win you these games because if you bowl first, you restrict the opposition to a smaller total, so you don't need as much batting. And if you bowl second, then you can actually get wickets and you can restrict the scoring. You can win the game that way. So to me, Australia have to look at their game style, how we want to play, and our strategies, because at the moment they haven't got it right. And they might beat the Sri Lankans and South Africans and those sort of sides pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
But when they come against the big boys in England and Pakistan and India, who have played T20 cricket properly, how it should be played and how T20 cricket has evolved over the years, you've got to get into beast mode. You need beast mode batsmen that just go out there and bash it. There's no room for these knocking it around. There is time for some of these players that are smart enough to run twos. And doesn't mean you're fast between the wicket running a two. It means you're a good judge of a run and you can place it there for a two against a good ball. But when it presents itself and it's over pitched, it's got to disappear. If they bowl a bad ball, it's got to disappear. It can't go for singles or twos.
Australia's net run rate is so poor now, Warning, and that's the problem. Yeah, I just think that my order would be Marsh at 3, Wade 4, Maxwell 5, Inglis 6 and Stoinis a lock at 7 and 4 bowlers. What do you think of that lineup?
Yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, I don't mind that. I think we've got to have someone up there at the top of the order that can make use of the power play. And with Finch and Warne not quite getting it right and at their best, we need someone else that can bash it. So Stoinis, to me, when we look at him, he's been over the last 3 or 4 years, he's made the most runs in Big Bash and he opens the batting. He needs time. Once Stoinis has time to get himself in, he can actually bash quick, spin, but he struggles. He's a bad starter. You know, when you look at him, he looks like Glenn McGrath when he starts. I mean, it's like, geez, come on. Get your feet moving.
But if he comes...
He's so... Player Stoinis, he needs time. So I would be batting him at 3, Mitchell Marsh at 4, Inglis 5, Maxwell 6. And Maxwell at number 6, that would be my top 6. And then once the 6th over is in, if Finch and Warne get off to a flyer and it's 6 over mark, Maxwell goes in. You have to be adaptable in T20 cricket. You can't say you're batting 4 today and no matter what the situation, you just go at 4. How does Maxwell go in the 3rd over there? I'm not sure if you guys are watching going, what's he going in for?
Yeah.
When you got Stoinis and Wade behind him. I just didn't understand that. So, and they probably wanted to make use of the power play, but because they haven't got any beast mode players there in the power play, that's why they set Maxwell in. Well, you've got Stoinis and Marsh that can bat number 3. So I just think they've got to really look at their team and the way they want to play the game.
So moving forward, next game, what are your changes from that 11 last night that you're going to make for the next game and throughout the tournament, you reckon?
Well, I'd keep the 5 bowlers that we played and I would bring Inglis in for Wade. I think he should be in the side. And Marsh in for Smith. That would be my changes.
Okay.
And I'd be batting Stoinis at 3, Mitch Marsh at 4, Inglis at 5 and Maxwell at 6. That would be my side. And then after 6 overs, Maxwell goes in. But I'd be hoping to win a toss and bowl first and chase it down extremely quickly to get our run rate back up. As Skull said, it could get down to run rate unless England smash South Africa, which we hope happens.